You.
This is the segment that I'm sure a lot of people would have preferred us to open up on.
Oh, delete it.
It's about Scandinavian Airlines. So SAS, which I don't know what it stands for, but it's the Scandinavian Airlines, ran a commercial where they basically said Scandinavian has no inherent culture. They said they were just as bad as the Vikings. And they even tried arguing based off of a random cartoon squirrel on Twitter.
Oh my gosh.
I'm somewhat joking there, but a random Twitter user, that Swedish meatballs are not in fact Swedish.
That's
which
ridiculous.
is not true.
So I'm actually part Swedish, and I grew up with a Swedish family, and I had lots of Swedish meatballs my entire life. I set a record in my family for eating 108 of them one Christmas. Yes, they're so good. Yeah,
Put a little jam on lingonberry.
But I've had meatballs from all different. I mean, this is before I went vegan, but it doesn't matter. You know, I've eaten them. They're delicious, and they taste specific to Swedish meatballs.
So what you're saying is you're a white supremacist.
Oh my gosh.
Well, hold on.
No.
Hold on.
Let me finish. Like I'm saying, I had meatballs from all across the world. I've been all across Europe. I've eaten meatballs. I like meatballs. Spaghetti meatballs is one of my favorite go-to meals. They're definitely Swedish.
They are.
They're very, very Swedish.
But
the
you,
spices,
sir,
man.
are a white supremacist.
Why, is that what they're saying?
Because Guardian says anyone criticizing this is far right.
Are you kidding me?
What is truly Scandinavian? Nothing. Airline
my
clarifies ad after far right criticism. Not just that they have pulled the ad down, but I love this story from The Guardian.
Why did they pull it down? Too
If
controversial?
you would like to be historically accurate and criticize this ad when they tried to claim that Swedish meatballs were actually Turkish,
is that what they're saying?
based off of a rumor on Twitter. Oh, I just want to, look, I'm a nonviolent person, but if there was anything that would make me want to, like Homer Simpson, strangle a small child, I'm joking, by the way. Someone's going to take that out of context.
Yeah.
But Homer like strangles Bart.
Of course, yeah.
It's when some random person on Twitter is like, did you know that Brad Pitt is John Lithgow's nephew? And then everyone's like, fact, and it lands on Wikipedia because some dumb journalist sees it and goes, that's interesting, and then adds it to a story in passing. And then someone takes it and puts it on Wikipedia, and then it becomes citation, and then no one questions it.
Yep. And then Brad Pitt is John Lithgow's cousin.
He's not actually. It's a Family Guy joke, by the way.
Oh, sure.
Stewie's like, he's like, it's not true, but it sounds like it could be, right?
Yeah.
That's why I use it as an
could be.
example. So check this out.
Okay.
Let me read this story.
Yeah, let's hear it.
The Scandinavian airline SAS has clarified an advertisement intended to highlight the role of travel, immigration, and cultural diversity is forging the region's identity after it was pilloried online by far-right and nationalist groups. Okay, here's what I love about this.
This is ridiculous.
If an American criticizes the historical inaccuracies, they call you a nationalist. Bro, I got no stake in Sweden, man.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I do.
Whether
I love
they invented
Sweden.
a
My
meatball.
wife is Swedish.
Well, you do.
Well, no, and you know what? Here's the thing. I've been in Sweden many times throughout the past few years, and they have so many traditions. It blows me away.
Midsummer.
That's one of many.
I know.
They have all these different songs.
Fettestagen.
From all the different, like, seriously, any season they got a cool song about it. And they sing it together. It's like they're like, hey Adam, give us let's sing one of your American traditional songs. And I'm like,
Whoa.
but
you don't know the American traditional songs?
Sure, yeah. What give me some.
So wait, hold on.
Yeah. Go ahead. What?
You're putting me on the spot.
Yes,
I'm trying
I
to think
am.
of the words.
I was put on the spot the
the
same way. They're like, hey, we just finished singing this song.
Beautiful
Is that
for
what-
spacious skies,
is
for
that what I was-
amber waves of grain.
Can I ask you, have you
for Purple
ever
Mountain's majesty.
have you ever sung that around a dinner table
Yes.
with your family?
You
have?
I was in.
No, you
Of course
haven't.
not. That'd be cool. I'm going to now.
Let's do it. We should
That's
do it.
actually
Next
really
time we have
cool.
dinner, we'll create it.
You were asked to sing traditional American
No,
songs.
they asked me. They were, wanted to include me, and because I was like, they actually straight up have an app. I still have it. It's called Schnapsvisor, and it's literally an app that shows you
Meepo?
like it's all these different. You pick. Look, there's all the different little traditional
Midsummer.
times. Yeah, it's on there.
I know that 'cause I saw that
click
horrible
Midsummer.
movie.
Look at all these Midsummer songs. Look at them.
I gotta stop right now. Listen.
All right.
So I want to try and give you guys a little bit of context in case you're missing where we're at. The airline makes this commercial. The whole commercial was like, did you know that this Swedish thing was actually Greek? Did you know this Swedish thing was actually German. They were like all of these things that they're claiming were Scandinavian were actually from other places. And it was one of the stupidest commercials ever.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the far right criticizing them. They literally just had a movie come out called Midsummer. Is that not only Swedish? It's Scandinavian?
I don't know. I'm not sure if it's
And they actually
other
said,
countries in the area.
This is my favorite part. We are no better than the Vikings. Oh, no. You do not get to do that. Okay, the Vikings literally burned cities to the ground and kidnapped the women and brought them home. You're a bunch of soy boy whiny babies who are pretending like you never invent anything because you're terrified. Listen, Sweden has Semla. Semla? Is that, I'm saying it right? Semla?
Semla sounds right. I don't know.
Fettesdagen. It means Fat Tuesday.
Okay.
Fat Tuesday it's also very European.
Okay.
But in a lot of these places, semla is very specific, as far as I know, to Sweden.
Okay.
It's like sweet bread with like cardamom, and they cut it open and put whipped cream, and then put whipped cream on, and then bun back on top.
Oh, there was that comedian,
Kevin Hart.
Yes, Kevin Hart did
now
something funny with that.
In Eastern Europe, they put like it's very similar, but they put like blueberry jam in it.
Yeah.
So Sweden, like it's insane that they've become obsessed with arguing their own culture doesn't exist anymore.
Man, they have so much culture. It's crazy.
Didn't Justin Trudeau say something like that, where he was like, "There is no Canadian culture"? It's like, dude, we literally make fun of the way you talk.
Right.
You have you have gravy on your French fries.
Yep.
Like we stereotype your silly culture.
Yep.
And we have like maple. We make jokes. Did you know that there was at one point, Canada has a strategic maple reserve?
Seriously?
And some people like robbed it, and it was like the Great Maple Heist of like 2013 or something.
Do you think they had a Tinder driver?
Yeah, the Canadian. But could you imagine like dudes wearing like in Fast and the Furious how they're all wearing like I don't know like secret agent clothes.
Yeah.
Or maybe Mission Impossible is a better example, and they're like dropping down from the vents. There's like a laser grid, and then they like hook a tube up to a big, gigantic Mrs. Butterworth,
siphon it out,
sucking out Canada's maple syrup. What is it?
So they actually stole 3,000 gallons worth of syrup,
Wow.
and it was worth $18 million.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
And Justin Trudeau had the nerve to say there's no Canadian culture.
How dare you? That's a lot of culture that they
I don't.
stole.
Yeah, right. I don't know if there's any country that could have how many 3,000 gallons of maple syrup.
Yeah, growing up, I was under the impression that all maple syrup anywhere came from Canada.
You know what's funny?
I know it's not true now, but
In America,
I thought that.
In America, we have a strategic oil reserve.
Oh, okay.
But Canada has strategic maple syrup reserve.
Yeah, this is literally stolen from a, quote, storage facility. So they have a special place where they keep all this.
You
mad
remember that
stuff.
scene in Breaking Bad where he steals the stuff from the train?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh man, I don't know if people have seen
great-
Breaking Bad, but he robs a train basically, and it's awesome.
What
It's
year
such
was
a cool
it?
scene. That's what I picture happening. They're like, oh, we can get the maple syrup from the train as it's going.
$18 million.
Yeah,
Man, I had no idea.
that was a months-long operation, which is
What?
actually really
It
impressive.
took them a
Whoa,
month. They did it
dude.
over a month.
months long.
Months.
Plural.
Multiple.
Whoa.
Can we get a movie about this?
I
That's
kinda
cool.
want one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
I want Dwayne The Rock
Yes.
Johnson. I want Tom Cruise.
Yep.
Vin Diesel. I want to take all
Okay.
and Sylvester Stallone if he can still do it.
Yes.
Dolph Lundgren. I want to take the Expendables, Fast and the Furious, Mission Impossible, all jammed into
Smash 'em
one,
in there.
and they steal that maple syrup.
Yeah.
How did we fall
Well,
into
you
maple
gotta have
syrup?
You gotta have half the team as the cops trying to stop the guys
No,
or figure
no
out
way.
who to,
Nope.
No, all of them.
No, Donald Trump's the bad guy. he's trying to protect Canada's maple syrup, and these like underground forces are coming to steal
He's
it.
trying to build a pipeline for the maple syrup to come down in the States.
Hey, you know what? It's actually really interesting that you guys bring this up, because the organization that was storing this syrup, this valuable, priceless commodity, represents 77% of the global maple syrup supply, and they have been compared to a cartel.
Whoa!
Really?
Yes, this is the most valuable heist in Canadian history.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And you're gonna tell me they got no culture?
Did they get away with it?
They
Does
did
it say?
not, I don't think.
I don't know why. I'm always like, oh, did they get away with it?
Well, so here's the next part. Here's the next part. So this stupid post arguing that Swedish meatballs were Turkish. It's like somebody literally
This
just made it up.
offends me.
So researchers for Svenska Dagbladet, which I think means something like Daily News. Is that what it means? Researchers saw world news about meatballs fabricated. This is Google translated into English, so mind you, it's a Swedish website.
Oh, okay.
But Swedish meatballs are really Turkish. The official Swedish fact account, Sweden.se, writes on Twitter, the news has been spread by media such as the New York Times, BBC, and CNN, but according to food historian Richard Tellstrom, the information is not correct. Of course, it's very serious, he says.
Yes.
Oh, look,
dude,
you can see the tweet.
They love their culture, man. They're so proud of their songs.
And they put berries on
and it's
meat.
awesome. I wish I spoke Swedish so I can sing along with these guys. I know it's my own fault. I could just learn it.
Laziness.
I'm lazy.
So I went to...
I'll admit it.
I went to Bergen, Norway.
Okay.
And they were very, very proud of their whaling culture.
Okay.
Even though it was considered like
whales.
yeah,
in the
they
ocean.
kill whales and eat them.
Gosh, it's terrible.
And almost everyone else in the world finds that bad.
Yeah.
Yet they didn't care. And I asked them, I was like, well, I as an American, we kind of don't like that you kill whales.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's part of our culture. We've been doing it for hundreds of years. You don't understand. And they wanted me to eat. It was like pickled whale.
Yeah, but they were doing it when they would go out and like harvest it themselves. Now it's probably a commercial operation where they're just killing whales all the time.
I mean,
to support the supply.
But the point is,
anyway, yeah, go ahead.
if everyone thinks killing whales is bad, but Norway was like, no, it is good. We love killing whales and eating them. You don't understand. They're willing to defend a culture that everyone hates. Swedish meatballs. Who doesn't like Swedish meatballs?
I love them.
They're great. It's food. It's meat in a ball with berries on it and gravy.
IKEA actually has some vegan Swedish meatballs, and they're really good.
Sweden won't even defend their own meatballs to save their own culture.
That's what I'm here for.
And then, sure enough,
I got you, Sweden.
The Guardian claims only the far right cares. So this is the other thing I want to talk about.
Sketchy.
If you literally are like, I like my country, you're far right.
That's like what we were talking about the other day. It's like if you say anything about like the men versus women thing, it's like when you're just like, I know I'm just defending myself. No, you're a toxic masculine man.
Right,
now.
exactly.
It's like instantly labeled.
Look at this
wrong.
guy, vegan skateboarder, beanie wearing, hippy dippy, and you're far right.
I guess I am. I have no idea.
That's how absolutely insane everything has
ridiculous,
gotten.
man.
Why would anyone think it was a good idea to make a commercial for your country where you're like, our country sucks?
And if you deny it, you're far right. It's like, whoa.
I feel like
it doesn't sound like it's someone from in Scandinavia. That sounds like someone from outside of the country.
No, I don't think so, man.
I don't get it. Because I know a lot of them, and they're all really awesome, and they have a really good culture, and it's awesome. They
Yeah, but have you dealt with the politics of Sweden?
I've dabbled. I've seen it. I've sat and watched the news. And
they were
subtitles.
denying forever all of the problems they were having.
Yeah, I see that. There is a lot of problems in the government there, but
No, I mean like with everything. Like they're sitting here praising everything that they have.
Who's they?
Like the Swedish institution, like the commercial, the airline.
So just the airline, yeah, though.
They're sitting there praising, or I shouldn't say praising, but they're criticizing.
Where are they based?
Scandinavian
can you look
Airlines?
that up? Where they're based?
SAS, Denmark,
Norway.
It's Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. Okay, so not just the one.
Okay.
But they make points about like Danishes aren't actually from Denmark; they're actually from Austria.
Yeah, what is the point of this? So go to Austria, don't come here anymore?
I think.
Like what?
Here's the problem.
That doesn't make sense.
There was a study a long time ago, and they mapped Twitter.
Okay.
And they found clusters of different, networks.
All right.
Digital marketing overlapped with the resistance, which is like the anti-Trump leftists.
Okay.
So for some reason, I think it's obvious. I think it's the people who work in marketing are in big cities, surrounded by the same people in bubbles.
Yep.
And they thought this. I don't know who made this commercial or where they are, but they thought this was going to be a hit. That everyone was going to cheer for them as they said, our country never made anything. We're as bad as the Vikings. First of all, the Vikings were cool in a lot of ways and really, really bad in a lot of ways. But to claim that you would ever amount to the Vikings is offensive to me. And I'm not even Swedish or Scandinavian. I'm sorry, Scandinavian.
Yeah.
Because
well, I am, and I'm upset.
Whoa.
What?
So apparently, I was trying to figure out who made this dumb ad. Apparently, there was a bomb threat called into the Copenhagen agency that made this ad.
Whoa.
And it was a hoax. But this was earlier today. They shut down the street in front of the corporation.
So is it in Copenhagen then? That's their flagship spot?
I think it must have been, yeah.
Okay.
The threat appeared to have been an empty one. social media, the cordon of the area had been lifted. No bomb was found. Somebody was very unhappy about this ad. That's really,
That's been happening. The last time I flew to Sweden, there was a bomb threat, and I had to.
well, I mean, that's,
Oh, dude,
I had to wait,
Sweden has
and-
more bombings than any other country not at war.
I didn't know that.
Sweden.
Interesting.
Exclude all of the countries at war. Sweden has more bombings than any other country.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yep. And that was when I went there a few years ago. Somebody threw a grenade on a balcony. Little kid died. Tourist. I think he was British.
Oh man.
And so now it's only been getting worse. And I have a friend who's staying there, and she said they can't hide it anymore. That's all they talk about.
Yeah.
So here's the point. The crime in Sweden is still lower in certain aspects than like many cities in America.
Okay.
They have a lot smaller population.
Yeah, much smaller.
But crime is it's escalating like crazy.
They have lots of more people, and they're trying to figure it out.
What's funny about this is that the ad agency is you said it's in Copenhagen, and they're actually tightening their borders because of the crime pouring in from Sweden. And they make a commercial like this, they're completely oblivious.
yeah, it's kind of weird to me that this would be coming out of Denmark when
Yeah.
they are literally strapping down their border with,
Yep.
the surrounding countries, because they are technically an island. They're connected, I think, to Sweden by some small spit of land. But
It's
that is
it's
weird.
like a land bridge.
really weird.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
They
watch his
built
story.
It's a really long bridge.
You know, it's so weird how the Vikings, their culture devolved into. It started with them literally stealing women, like going to other countries and taking them, to now them being like, we've never done anything of merit. So I'll tell you what. Here's what I think is going to happen.
Well, that's not the society as a whole. That's this airline making a
No,
stupid
it's
commercial.
but that's what I was saying about digital marketing.
Uh-huh.
Like the people who are online. This is the Swedish
Well,
meatball thing.
whoa, you also said that Twitter makes up 2% of the
America.
Oh, okay, of America. So
Right.
what is the percentage over there?
So like I said,
I'm sure it's not
the
more
people
than
on Twitter
like 5%.
are the ones who write the news media.
Okay.
And so what you're seeing is their bubble perspective, which they write down and spread among all the people. So what's
Okay.
going to happen is the Sweden Democrats, which they call far right,
Right.
Nazis or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know very much about. I think I don't know a whole lot about what's going on, but based on stuff like this, I'd be willing to bet they start gaining more and more in the polls. We already see it in Italy. We're going to see it in France. There's going to be a sweeping wave of nationalism across all these countries because of this. Because I'll tell you what you do if you want to inspire countries to be more international. You don't smear and rag on the people who are proud of it. It makes
Yeah.
them angry and reactive.
Yeah, that's true.
What a dumb commercial.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I kind of want to watch it, but did they take it down or what?
Yeah, look at this. This is the funniest thing. Here's it. It's like it's gone.
Oh, they
You
had
can't
it,
watch it,
and it's
Yeah.
gone.
Due to a copyright claim by Scandinavian Airline Systems. Oh, that's what it means. Denmark,
so
Norway,
people,
Sweden.
people were taking it and posting it, and then they're like, no,
no,
we
no,
own
no, no,
it.
no, no, no.
Don't-
They
you
pulled
can't
it down. Oh, right. Yep.
I'm sure other people took it too.
Yeah, I can't find any copies on YouTube. They're pulling it down.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. There was a poll was done in the UK asking why it was that Labour was defeated so resoundingly, like the worst defeat in 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they said it was weakness, indecisiveness, and a lack of patriotism.
Okay.
Those were the three key factors among voters as to why they didn't vote for Jeremy Corbyn.
Okay.
When you see stuff like this is the opposite of patriotism. You make a commercial saying our country's terrible. Yeah, you're going to get wiped out when people see that and they're like, how dare you?
Yeah.
People
Yeah,
are
this-
proud of where they come from. and
Yeah.
accomplishments.
They
weak.
totally are.
Yeah. Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show every Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., sometimes an hour or two. And we do have a full live recorded version of the show that includes a lot of comments and smaller segments you probably don't see. If you want to check that out, you can watch live at 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, or become a member of this channel. And for $5 a month, you get full access to all of the recorded podcasts. Every day after the show, we make them available in the community section of this YouTube channel. So don't forget to subscribe and stick around for more segments and more shows Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all in the next show.